Yeah, you had to go on your little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before. You needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy hurt still?
I feel a lot better now.
All right, I'm not scared of shit, no. Not at all. Not at all. I was born for this. I was born for this moment. The universe told me this was gonna happen. You can ask Mike. I did ayahuasca, called him up and said, we're gonna fight on the biggest stage possible. It's destiny. And now here we are years later actually making it happen. I was made for this moment, born to do this, and I'm gonna put on the performance of a lifetime on November 15th, and the universe will align for all of its glory and good for God.
Jake Paul retaliated against Mike Tyson after the latter attacked him during their most recent face-off at Fanatics Fest NYC. "We're all here whether this fight happens or not," Tyson said, emphasizing that he is more than ready to take Paul out. Applause from the crowd. "Are you prepared to defeat Jake Paul?" "I'm prepared." The battle between these two was supposed to take place on July 20, but Tyson had to pull out because of a flare-up of his ulcer. Their fight has been scheduled on
fight happening or not?
It's happening. We're all here. We're all here.
How prepared are you to knock Jake Paul out?
Previous occasions. Despite ending his professional boxing career in 2005, Mike Tyson leaves an incomparable legacy in the boxing community. From 1987 to 1990, he held the uncontested title of heavyweight champion.
Wow, it's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I'm just asking when you get into camp.
I'm okay to fight.
But when you get into camp, like when...
I'm in camp right now.
Very good, thank you.
I'm in camp right now.
Thanks very much.
During that time, he compiled an outstanding record of 50 wins, 6 losses, and 2 draws. Of those wins, 44 came via knockout. In 2020, Tyson returned to the public eye in a memorable exhibition battle against Roy Jones Jr., in which the 54-year-old displayed significant agony throughout the fight.
Playing out.
Very painfully. Yeah.
In order to test his endurance against a much younger opponent, Tyson is now scheduled to fight the 27-year-old Paul. Despite Paul's impressive 10-fight record, his battles haven't yet reached the heavyweight level that Tyson faced, but Paul has shown promise and might be a difficult opponent for the more experienced fighter. While Paul played the part of the event's antagonist, making jokes about host Ryan Clark, Tyson, who was a shell of his former aggressive self, behaved more composedly during the most
sick, or were you a little nervous about getting in the ring with Jake Paul?
I was terrified. I was terrified.
I brought this deal to this old ass motherfucker. We signed the contract with Netflix, and I brought him the deal. So, you're welcome, my son. I'm gonna discipline you like a son. So shut the fuck up with all that need this, need that.
Recent event. Speaking about his most recent medical update from doctors, Tyson revealed he was back in training preparing for the rearranged fight date. "I've been training for a few weeks now, maybe 2 or 3, and I was just wondering when you go to camp. I'm up to fight, but when you go to camp, like when I'm in camp right now, that would be very good. Thank you very much." In response, Tyson said he had been training for 2 or 3 weeks and felt fantastic. Even though Paul seemed to enjoy the jeers from the hometown audience supporting his opponent, Tyson remained composed and vowed to end the fight.
I'm very prepared. I had a small adversity. I got sick, but I'm better.
Even though thousands of fans were unable to enter the sold-out theater in New York for the Fanatics Fest final, Paul was the one who really cranked up the heat during a heated face-to-face exchange, accusing the boxing icon of evading their scheduled fight and launching into a tirade of profanities that declared their friendship was finally ended. Paul made fun of Tyson's stomach ailment and implied that he wasn't prepared by asking if he was really sick or if he was just a little anxious to face Jake in the ring. Paul jokingly implied that Tyson had needed to postpone the fight in order to take a break, which he called a menopausal break. "Thank you very much, my son. I will treat you like my
YouTuber fighting the greatest fighter that ever lived."
Jake, when you...
Every time these fighters sit across from me and it's YouTuber, it's Disney Channel, all that shit, and then you end up on the canvas, and you'll see it's gonna be no different here. I promise you that.
I mean, with people with the same intention, but the actuality, no. Catch this guy, because he's gonna be running around. But as soon as I catch this guy, it's gonna be totally over.
My son, quit talking about how much you need us to bring you the deal, and keep in mind that Tyson is still leaving his mark on the social landscape. I was so afraid, so very afraid, Paul, that I'd brought this bargain to this old ass. We agreed to a deal with Netflix. He made waves once more earlier this month when he attended the Israel Madoff versus Terrence Crawford fight. While talking with Bloodied Elbow at the show radio position, he sat ringside with Turki Alec, whose Riyadh season had just kicked off its first ever Los Angeles event. This was all the while he was attending numerous prestigious events throughout his show and wasn't even in fight camp. Big boy, at the most recent event, Tyson didn't say much to Jake, but what he did say was really scary.
Powerful guy. All the people in my comments saying, look at his power, he's gonna get KO'd. People are yelling at me in the event. But what happens when I put this man to sleep? This shit is not a joke. He's saying that it's gonna be my funeral. He's saying it's gonna be my wake. He's gonna kill Jake Paul, all of these things. And that's why I love Mike, I respect him, but we're not friends anymore. Until November 15th, I'm knocking this motherfucker out, and we're gonna see who's dead.
And Kurt Alexander confirmed that Tyson was at his best that night in the ring. Big Boy said on Tyson, "I think he's always ready to fight," stating, "He was ready to fight tonight, hell yeah. I would go watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. That's one of the Jake fights I would go to. Jake was excellent with my family, which is why I love him." Jake, the tension that was already present between the two fighters as they squared up in the center of the Javits Center Theater stage intensified as the air crackled with intensity. After giving Paul some lighthearted punches, Tyson gave him a hard shove to the chest. Iron Mike appeared to apologize lightly, but it didn't take long for him to lash out again, pushing with much more force, this time with both music hands.
Jake, because your health depends on it.
Hey, you're the one that wanted 8 2-minute rounds. You want to make it 10 threes? Don't talk to me about shape. Don't talk to me about shape.
Stay in shape, all right?
You want 10 threes?
Okay.
You want 10 threes?
Let's go, be careful.
You want 10 threes? See, that's the thing. That's the thing is everyone's all talk. I'll do whatever, wherever, whenever. I don't give a f. So it's all talk. Put it on the line. I'm stating facts. He's talking.
Mike, he seems extremely confident. He says there's no fear. Should he be scared?
He should be very scareful, yeah.
Paul and Mike Tyson had their first public meeting since the much-awaited boxing contest was rescheduled, and they came dangerously close to a full-blown brawl. Before they each departed the stage in separate directions, the tense moment between the two simmered down to a last, fierce stare-down. On Sunday, Tyson also declared that he has resumed his combat training. Tyson like he was his own son. Following a press conference, Tyson stated he was fully recovered from his recent illness and took on his competitor on stage. Paul had come under fire for agreeing to take on the 58-year-old boxing icon Tyson, who hadn't engaged in competition since a boring, behind-closed-doors exhibition bout with Roy Jones Jr. in 2020. The 30-year-old YouTube sensation then responded with equal force.
It's because of who I am. It's because I proved everyone wrong. Reminder, the most hated and most criticized boxer in the sport of boxing before they loved him was Muhammad Ali. So I'm the anti-hero, and people will love me soon enough once they realize what I've done for this sport and who I truly am. But it doesn't bother me at the end of the day, because when you're at the top, people are...
Earlier, when the former undisputed heavyweight champion shoved Paul backward with their faces mere inches away. It was nearly 20 years ago when Tyson ended his last professional bout on his stool, following a 5-round loss to Kevin McBride. Paul has vowed that the fight will end brutally and that history will be made when he knocks Tyson out in response to predictions of his own demise. Paul has also responded to Tyson's remarks that the bout is his wake and funeral, saying that while he still has respect.
That's the name of the game. I'm here to make history. I'm here for a challenge. I'm here to fight one of the most dangerous men in all of boxing. No one that ever did anything great got there with ease or by a easy, non-bumpy road. I'm here to challenge myself. He's vicious. He's a killer. I know all of these things. He has one punch knockout power. He's the greatest heavyweight of all time. But I will prove on November 15th, all the haters wrong, all of these YouTuber fucking hillbillies wrong. And that's what I've always done.
For Tyson, their friendship is over. Paul boldly declared that he would take down Tyson, and only then would history decide who would survive. You know, everyone is shouting at me during the fight because they believe that this strong, powerful man would defeat me. But what actually occurs when I put it to sleep? This is not something to giggle at. I adore Mike for stating all these things, like that he's going to kill Jake Paul and that it will be my wake and funeral. I still admire him, but as of November 15th, our friendship has ended. Once I take care of this, we can determine who's dead. The terms of their fight were substantially altered when Jake Paul issued a challenge to Mike Tyson that called for 10 rounds of 3 minutes each. Tyson is confident that he has overcome his recent setback and is prepared to return to the ring for the first time since his dull draw with Roy Jones Jr. in 2020. His upcoming fight with Paul will be officially recorded on their records, but it will not follow the standard format of 8 2-minute rounds rather than 3. Additionally, the YouTuber suggested extending the round's duration during a press conference held in New York on Sunday where Paul and Tyson faced each other. When Tyson didn't immediately respond, Paul accused Tyson of being all talk, saying that he was ready to fight anytime, anywhere, and that Tyson was just trash talking.